Her text arrived at 2:11 a.m., a time when only truth or guilt tends to speak. We need to talk in the morning. No explanation, no apology, no warmth. Just a sentence heavy enough to pull me awake like a hand around my throat. I stared at it for a long time, my thumb hovering over the screen, feeling that familiar hollowness, like something inside me had shifted while I wasn't looking. The apartment was quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that exposes every unanswered question you've ignored for months. I sat up. I listened. I searched the dark for an anger and found none. She'd been distant for weeks, too many extra shifts, too many late returns with the smell of perfume that wasn't hers clinging to her clothes. I pretended not to notice, pretended it was stress, pretended she still looked at me the way she used to. But that message, it had weight. The kind of weight that suggested she wasn't planning to fix anything, only explain why it was already broken. I lay back down and stared at the ceiling, feeling something cold settle behind my ribs. Morning would come, and with it, whatever truth she'd been hiding behind soft smiles and rushed kisses. Still, I said nothing, because sometimes silence is the last shield a person has. It started at Thanksgiving. Her mother called me a failure between bites of turkey, like it was nothing more than a casual observation. I defended my work, quietly, calmly. I thought my wife would back me. Instead, she snapped. "Don't talk back to my mother," or "get out." Get out. 2 words, said lightly, but they carved something out of me. The room fell silent. I felt everyone's eyes on me, waiting for me to argue, to get angry, to leave dramatically. But I didn't. I just nodded and kept eating, letting the humiliation soak into my skin. That night, she didn't apologize. She didn't even look at me. She just scrolled through her phone, smiling at messages she didn't bother to hide. That was the first crack. The second came a week later when I found the receipt. Wine, candles, a hotel room booked under her maiden name. I told myself it was work-related, a team dinner, a conference, a mistake. But denial is a fragile thing. It shatters quietly. By the time she sent that 2:11 a.m. message, I already knew there was someone else. I just didn't know who, or how long, or why she still bothered coming home. But the truth has a way of leaking through the smallest holes. Every late night, every turned back, every forced smile. It all made sense now. Still, I waited. Because I needed proof, not anger. And I needed her to hand me the final piece herself. The morning after her message, she left early. Too early. She didn't kiss me goodbye. She didn't even check if I was awake. Fine. I started digging. Phone records, bank statements. The hotel charge repeated every Thursday. The same number calling her twice a day, always after 11 p.m. Photos online. A tagged picture she must have forgotten existed. Her at a rooftop bar, leaning too close to a man she barely knew. A software engineer. Divorced. Lives 15 minutes away. Her exact type. Safe. Predictable. Easy to lie about. I didn't confront her. Didn't breathe a word. I showed up to work, smiled when expected, nodded at small talk. But inside, I was rearranging the pieces of my life, preparing for the part where everything I thought I had would collapse. At home, I packed slowly, methodically. Only my things, only what I'd earned. I left her toiletries, her clothes, her books untouched. I wanted her to step into the space I had abandoned and choke on the emptiness. 3 days passed. No questions, no calls. She didn't notice I was gone. Perfect. 4. Major reveal. 350 words. On the 4th day, she finally came home. I watched from across the street as she hurried inside, keys shaking in her hand, panic blooming too late. She disappeared into the apartment, and through the window I saw her freeze, saw her realize, saw the truth hit. The drawers were open, empty, the closet half vacant, my desk cleared, my shoes gone. Just one thing remained, the folder on the kitchen island. Inside it, printouts, the phone records, the hotel reservations, screenshots, dates, times, her mother's insult typed neatly at the top, like the thesis of a research paper, failure. She read everything. I could tell from the way her hand trembled when she gripped the counter. When she finally stepped back outside and saw me waiting, she looked small, broken, desperate for me to say something that would undo what she'd done. But I wasn't there for explanations. I already had the truth. She walked toward me with wet eyes. "Why didn't you talk to me?" I let the silence stretch until it cut her. Then I said, calmly, "You told me to get out." Her lips parted, some excuse forming, but I held up a hand, stopping her. I didn't argue, I didn't shout, I just listened. Her breath hitched. "And I took you literally." She looked down at the folder clutched in her hands, the evidence she could never erase. I watched the moment she realized this wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge in the loud, destructive sense. It was clarity. It was consequence. And it was hers. She reached for me. I stepped back. There was no rage left, no grief. Those emotions had burned out long before she ever confessed, if she ever intended to. All that remained was a clean, quiet understanding. She had chosen another life, another man, another version of herself that didn't include me. So I honored her choice. I walked past her, down the stairs, into the morning air that felt sharper, cleaner, freer than anything I'd breathed in years. I didn't look back. Some endings don't need doors slamming or voices raised. Some endings are just truth finally speaking without interruption. And this one ended with 6 words that felt like the only honest thing I'd said in months. "You wanted me gone. Now I am."